Benchmade Crooked River versus Cold Steel Recon 1 Take 20. I don't know. I've tried to do this several times. I don't think I could ever do this one justice. But it's got the Recon 1 here and the Cold Steel or the Benchmade Crooked River. So both of them, the dimensions are very, very similar. 5 1/3 inch handle for both. 9 1/3 overall inches, and each, of course, then have 4-inch blade. This one has Carpenter XHP. Boom. Where the Crooked River has S30V, both American steels, Carpenter, Crucible. So take your pick on that. Currently, Cold Steel Recon 1s are only coming with a black handle and a black blade with S35 VN, which is similar to the S30V, I believe, except for it's a little easier to sharpen. It might not have the same edge retention as S30V, but it's close, apparently. Me personally, like in real world use, I'd probably never notice a difference. Though through testing, it appears that the S30V does outperform the S35. However, with Cold Steel, my experience with Cold Steel is they do a really good job, whatever steel they're working with. I think this XHP is fantastic. This is the second knife I've had with it. Actually, no, it's a third. I had another, a tan, Desert Tan Recon 1, and I gave that to my brother. He has it. He loves it. So I found out that they were discontinued the XHP here a year ago, or whenever they did it. So a year ago now, I picked this up, a little over a year. So I picked this up on Amazon before that they were completely sold out everywhere. So I'm glad I got it, just because, you know, it's kind of unique. I don't know, maybe they'll go back to XHP. I don't know. But with Cold Steel, their S35 is fantastic, I am sure, because I do have the Voyager, Cold Steel Voyager, and the BD1, Carpenter BD1. Fantastic. I mean, no complaints. Great edge holding, easy to sharpen, easy to keep sharp, touch up, deburr, whatever. Fantastic. And that's my experience with this as well. Which is interesting because as far as I know, they do harden these up into the 60s. But they're still easy, very easy to sharpen. I mean, this might be easier for me for what I use. I just use a sharp maker with the medium and fine and extra fine stones. Not a problem whatsoever. I don't have a problem with this either, though. I just keep these touched up. Basically, is how I do it. I never really let them get super dull, you know. So, same. I think this might be just a little bit, it might come sharper just a little quicker, but it's hard to tell. So, awesome. Dimensions. Blade stock thickness, 1300ths, 125 thousandths. So, very similar, around that 1/8 inch mark. Yeah. Weight-wise, 5.4 ounces, I think, for both, give or take 1/10 of an ounce. Price-wise, $100, give or take $5. You can actually find these a little cheaper, I think. If you do a little searching, you can actually find these cheaper. $208, as far as I've seen, is pretty much the going rate on these full size. You get the mini. I imagine they're $25, $30 less, somewhere in that range. I could be wrong. But both, as you can see, are the clip point. This one does come in a tonneau and a spear point, I believe. I know it does come in a tonneau. I'm assuming they still make it in a spear point. This is just the clip, my preferred. I do have that code 4. So the code 4 in a tonneau, and you can see how fine of a tip this has on it. It's pretty fine, you know. I mean, it's not like a needle tip, but it's pretty good. But the tonneau is very thick, very robust. So if you're after a hard use, you know, more of a hard use less cutting performance, more hard use. I think this is fine, but I think that the Tano would be the way to go. I mean, very thick, very robust. And then on that note, with this, especially for a clip point, that's pretty robust there too, actually, for a clip point, because it's still fine. I mean, it's real good. You can get in there and do a lot of detail work with this, but it does have a robust tip. Let's see if I can do a little comparison here just to put them side by side. If I can find it. So you can see there's a difference. And the Crooked River is thicker. It's interesting. But it's you know, I find it unique because it is a total clip point. It comes out to a very cute tip, but it doesn't taper as much. It does retain that pretty robust tip. Good for jabbing it into a carcass, you know, big game carcass, and you know, whatever, you know. On that note, though, so I got my Buck 110 here, my original, late 90s, 97, I believe. I'm pretty sure I got it 97, and I think that's when I searched it up, I think that's what it came out at. If I get the focus, upside down horseshoe. I'm sure that means good luck. But yeah, you can see that needle tip. Get that. I mean, that thing. Okay, so I have one. I bought a Buck 110 last year, and it's made in 2017, I think, and it is quite a bit thicker out there at the tip. This is a needle, and you can see, I don't know if I ever tipped the thing. Get that to focus. Probably sharpening it. I probably wore it off a little bit. I don't know. If I do put this up, I have two other Buck 110s that the blades are new. Well, they're new knives. And it's probably a 1/16 of an inch shorter. This one is maybe an 1/8, because I have sharpened this quite a bit. It has been used. I mean, I've had this for over 20 years. So anyway, so the tip, though, you can see it's very fine, very cute. Hollow ground. Now, I'm kind of getting out of sorts here, but man, one thing with Benchmade, if they would give in this knife, because you have three options with this one: clip point, spear point, or Tano. It'd be cool, but with Benchmade, is if they'd offer this knife in a hollow grind blade. You could either get it in flat like this or get it in hollow. That'd be cool. Why do I say that, or why do I think that? Well, I just think because behind the edge thickness, cutting ability, slicing ability, this is a much better slicer. And I mean, it's used, this is primarily, I do use this at work, etc. It's lived a pretty hard life, but primarily it is a hunting, fishing knife, you know. And then food prep, yeah, totally. But usually it's not my first go-to that I have, because I usually don't really have that on me a whole lot unless I'm out in the field. I normally have one of these, and this gets used for all that as well. So that's a drop point with a swedge. And then getting into the tip thing, it's got a pretty fine tip as well. Probably a little finer than the cold steel, not much. As far as it's more tapered. So let's put these. I'll put this away. So this is a total opinion video, obviously, with a little bit of objective info. Both of these are good value, in my opinion. The two best field tactical bushcraft type folding knives on the market you can get for that use. I would say this is more on the tactical side, but with the blade, especially with the clip point, ergonomics. I mean, it's a really good tactical knife. I think that's what the original intent of this is, but it is a hunting knife. It's a hunting folding knife. They have their ultimate hunter. It's got a drop point, probably better for skinning, a little safer, but I mean, I've always used a clip for hunting, if not a drop point, I guess. Both good blade shapes, very effective, efficient, so you can't go wrong. And then of course the Crooked River, I mean, it's in the hunt line. It's a total hunting knife, but it's more than that. I mean, this is a great carving knife, great woodcraft knife, great everyday carry. They have a mini. It's probably a little bit better for everyday carry. This is I mean, it's a big guy. It's a big knife. It really is, especially when you're even compared to that, or if I'm using this. I mean, they're both, you know, It's quite a bit bigger. Probably an inch and a half longer overall. It's a good half-inch longer blade than that AFO. It's a quarter inch longer than this, theoretically. The Buck 110 is a 3 3/4 inch blade. It's pretty much the same stock thickness, and of course, again, the hollow grind. But it's a better slicer. Great ergonomics on this. Smooth out, round. Can't beat it. Pretty close. The only thing is the pocket clip, but I always find that it just falls in between kind of the knuckles, it's calluses on your hand, no matter kind of however you want to hold it. If you want to hold it in that grip, or if you want to choke up on it, hammer grip, and of course reverse is perfect. I mean, there's your cutting edge right there. You're not gonna get any hot spots. I use this all the time with this knife. This is pretty much my primary go-to as far as in the field knocking around. If I'm not carrying this, usually I have one of these. This one, I have this on me all the time now. And then at work I have my other one. And then this, same story. I mean, and if you want to get into the locks here, you have the strongest lock on the market. I'm pretty confident saying that. I don't think it really can be disputed. If you like, you can look up the Cold Steel Proof videos. They go through a lot of triad lock tests. And they never even top these out. They always win, and then they could keep going, but they would save them for the next test, etc., etc. So cool. I mean, it's a back lock, buoyed by, or even strengthened more by that stop pin right there. And the Apostle P has got a really good video explaining how it works. If you like, you can look that one up. Basically, though, how that back lock works is there's kind of a tooth, and then I don't know if you'll be able to see it in there, but you can see that indentation on the blade tang. They intermesh, and they trap that pin between them. Basically makes it impossible to release. So, I mean, love it. Triad lock. I have this one. I have the Cold Steel Voyager. I have a Fenwolf. I have a Code 4. Which one is it? Code 4. Yeah, so they're great, fantastic, good size pivot. Solid G10 construction on these. You have no liners. You don't need them, apparently. I mean, just seeing those tests, so keeps the weight down. Very simple. Keeps the cost down as well, I'm assuming. So talk about the way Cold Steel does things. Very logical. I like the way that they do things. Kind of keep things simple. In my experience, they do a very good job with their steel, no matter what they're using. If they're using their AUS 8, which I have experience with, if they're using their Carpenter BD1, I have experience with that. If they have with the XHP here, great. I do have an SR1 in their S35, but I haven't really sharpened that or even used that to a point of needing to sharpen it. It's just I've used it on some wood. I've chopped with it. And I mean, nothing got nicked up, chipped, or anything, and it didn't apparently need to be sharpened. So there again, and that knife was definitely designed for hard use. So how they do things, the grinds they put on their knives, they're meant for use. They're meant for field use. This wasn't primarily meant to be a slicing hunting knife, but it is really good at that. It was meant to take out in the field, use, and sharpen back up again. That's just what they designed it for. So they definitely achieved their goal. Also, this coating, as far as I've seen on any other knife I've had, be it Spyderco, be it ProTech, be it Microtech, be it Benchmade. What other knives do I have a coating? Well, CRKT. I mean, this is obviously the best. It's kind of got a little reflection to it, but I think that they put it on there for lubricity. I mean, it makes it a better cutter. It takes away friction. I would compare it. I'm not sure what this is, but I just little online searching. Like I have a Fox Float 36 fork with black coating on the one bike I have here. It's got black coating on the stanchion tubes. looks just like this. And apparently, if I search, if you look it up online, it's probably titanium nitride, and I'm assuming that's what they're using on this. So those things take a beating on a fork. I mean, and they're designed to cut down on stiction, on friction. So, I mean, that's what you're paying for. And I'm thinking that that's what they put on here, because I've used this extensively on stuff and there's not any wear on it whatsoever. I mean, there's pitch stuck to it on this side still. I think it's probably just the way, because when I cut, it rubs the pitch off on that side, but the off side, it stays. But anyway, I mean, I've used this knife, and of course the thumb studs, it wears off there, but there's no wear on that coating whatsoever. So it's like, they're like, all right, well, you guys don't like our old coating we used to put on? Well, we're just going to put the best you can get on. So, I mean, no complaints there. Strong, durable, strength and durability, and really reasonably priced for what you get. Big time. I mean, XHP steel, in my opinion, a high-end steel, definitely performs better, way better than the Microtech. I can't speak for the M390 knife, but I do have the one 204P, and that thing just dulled out fast. So, easy to sharpen though. I don't know if that's a good sign, but this stuff, magic. And then of course this, I can't say anything but good things about Benchmade's S30V as well, for what I use it for. Touch it up, deburr it. Sometimes I'll get nicks up in the belly portion, but then I just run it down the sharp maker or whatnot. I have a leather belt that I strap it on. I'm probably not very good at that, but I definitely get the edge back on it, clean up the burrs, boom, good to go. Obviously much better than the 420HC, but you know, for the price you pay for these guys too, I mean, it's pretty good, and I do like the grind. It's all about the grind with these. In fact, I challenge anybody that doesn't own one of these is to get one. Just get one of these standard ones. They're 40, 50 bucks. Use it for a day, use it for a couple hours, and then pick up any other knife, and then you'll kind of see what I'm saying about the grind on these. And it's like, I don't know, you'll pick up another knife, and this is worn down, doesn't really look like it should. It's close, but you can see how far down, how much blade has gone on this thing. There is actually supposed to be a deeper belly here, but use one of these and then go back to anything else, and you'll say, whoa, it's like I picked this up, and it'll feel like a clunky piece of junk, you know, at first, and then you'll get used to it again and whatnot. Anyway, so as far as the versus part goes, very strong, very adequate for field use. They make like the AD10, bigger, beefier knife. They make the SR1, of course, bigger, beefier knife. But as far as like cutting goes and everything else, I mean, this is the way, in my opinion, it's the way to go. I don't have the Ultimate Hunter. I would say the same thing about that knife. It's got a different grip shape, different blade shape, but same mechanism. And then, of course, same steels that they will use as well. And so I can't speak for it, but that would be a great option too. Personally, though, I am a clip point fan, as I keep repeating. So yeah, these are both great knives, very well worth the money. Obviously, twice the cost. Another great knife option would be to get that Cold Steel Voyager. It's a $50 knife, give or take. I think I paid a year ago or two, 50 bucks from Cutlery Shop. BD1 steel. I think now they've changed over to AUS 10, and I'm assuming it's awesome too. Maybe even better than the BD1. Can't say. Can't speak for it. So yeah, can't go wrong with that. And then of course, then you have a Spyderco military. Does have the liner lock. It's it's lighter weight than these two, maybe by an ounce. Still 4-inch blade, longer handle. The one weakness that it has, of course, like most Spydercos, is it will have that big old hump. It does take up more room, whereas this one, is the most low profile when closed. This one, a minor weakness of this is it does take up more room in your pocket. However, the way you put it in the back side of your pocket, I don't think it makes a difference. So this is good. The only weakness here out of any of these knives, in my opinion, is that pocket clip. It is, in my opinion, a weakness. And I'm not the only one that says that. It does work. Once you get it in the pocket, it's locked in there. It is small, it's low profile. That's cool. It's not going to snag on anything, but it is a little tougher to get in and out. And if you loosen it up too much, then it's just kind of too loose, and then If it's tight, well, it's extremely hard to get in and out of your pocket, even wearing a thin pair of nylon shorts or pants or etc. But that's it. Get a sheath for it, I guess, right? So yeah, great. Oh, and one more thing. These are large knives. I'd say classify them as a 4-inch blade. This one is a large knife as well, a little shorter blade, but I would say it's still in that large category. Not necessary. It was brought to my attention again. Um, oh, I have a Spyderco Para 3. I really like that knife. I like the size. It seems to operate like a full-size knife with a 3-inch blade instead of a 4-inch blade, and it's quite a bit, it's quite a bit smaller knife. However, it still is thick because it's got that hump on it. Whereas you can get like a Benchmade Mini Freak, and I think that the blade shape is a lot like that, I would say. It is a drop point, but it's closer to a clip than this. Maybe even more reminiscent of like a Spyderco military shape. It's not quite a clip and it's not a drop. It's kind of an in-between. I'm assuming, I've never used one, but it looks really good for cutting. And I think you can get away with 90% of what you need a knife for, even in the field with a 3-inch blade, if it's a firm, strong, good grip knife. And I'm assuming that's what it is. So that's an option too. It's not like you have to get trapped into these full-size knives. Let's see. So yeah, the Mini Freak I think would be a good option. I'm kind of holding out to see if they come out with that M4 edition in the mini size, because I do like that G10. The only thing about those Freaks is that plastic type rubber handle. I mean, heck, they changed the color on it. I'd probably think it'd be better, but that's just me. It's just personal opinion. But looks like a really good knife because I really like that grip tilling I have in the Super Freak. The Freak I think just has maybe a better geometry on a better grind, and then an upgrade in steel theoretically. It is an upgrade. Yeah, that's what I've got. Both very robust, good options. Twice the cost. One thing about this, a couple things I like about both these knives is the lack of jimping. There's no jimping on these. You got a little bit right here, but it's not. I don't even know if that's really jimping. It's kind of a structure put in there to, I don't know, maybe so you know where you're at. Your thumb, something. Anyway, so very comfortable, no hot spots. This one's got kind of a rounder handle. It's been rounded, chamfered, however you want to put it. Awesome. A little thicker than that. This one is a little narrower. However, it does not bother me with my hand. I kind of have bony hands, so it kind of sits in between like my thumb joint here, and like it just falls right in the web of my hand. I mean, it's fantastic, perfect. Both of these knives are. This does have aggressive G10 structure on the G10 is aggressive, but it's worn down since I've had it. It's definitely not as sticky as it was when I first got it, for sure. It never even bothered me when it's new. I kind of like it, and as it wears in, I like it too. So, I mean, as you can tell, I really like both of these. You can't go wrong with either one. The only weakness I would say is just that clip between either one of these. Both great options. So I think that's all I got. It's a pretty long ramble. But 3 of my favorite knives, and I think that right there, if that's all I need right there. Super happy. All right, have a good one. Thanks for watching to the end if you did.